Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Friday, November 10th. Jimmy the Bag is on a very well-deserved break today. Vacation. The guy gets a little bit of vacation time, right, Wanma? We got Wanma behind the
That's right.
Wanma the tech guy. I'll be able to talk to him. I will be reportedly getting a tablet where I will be able to review the comments in a few minutes. But as of right now, it's back to me just doing the solo show for today, and Jim will be back with us on Monday. Yesterday was pretty shitty day. Overall, our regular viewers are already aware of that, I am sure. I did well in NBA, had a nice read on my NBA picks, but S the bed in NHL, and I knew I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was coming in. I wasn't planning on giving either Detroit or Vancouver, but I wound up just in the course of discussing the games, deciding to go on them at +1. And of course, they both lost, so that was a pretty significant hit for me there. Again, I had a winning day in NBA and in college football. I'm still 4-3 in the picks that I've given on the week, but lost both of them yesterday. Ball State Northern Illinois game, I have no excuses for. I thought the under would probably be a good bet, but it wasn't. And the Georgia Southern Appalachian State game, I liked Appalachian State minus the points, but didn't have the balls to give that one, and that one cashed late. And I thought the over was going to be a good bet in that game, and it wasn't. And I have no real excuses. Wanma, I have no excuses. I had two shitty picks in college football yesterday. I'm still 4-3 overall on the week, which is 57%, which is a great record, but it just doesn't feel that way when I'm coming off of two shitty losses yesterday in college football. So hopefully today I'll be able to give some picks and redeem myself a little bit. I'm not sure what I am for the week. Again, I had an awesome, hugely positive day on Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesday and Thursday were big negative days. I think I'm still overall up for the week. Not exactly sure, but of course on Monday we will review the overall record for the week. I do have a whole bunch of MMA plays that I gave in the preview of UFC Fight Night 120 yesterday, so look out for the video at SBR videos for that. I previewed that one with Andreas Hale, and I gave a bunch of picks on that one, and that one could wind up being very nice for me or negative, because I did give a bunch of favorites on totals on that one. So if if one of them loses, I'll be fine. If two or three of them lose, that won't be good. And of course, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, I will be previewing the Saturday college football slate of games, as always, with Big Man on Campus, and I'll have a bunch of picks for that show as well, and those could turn out, great, negative, or even. So we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. As of right now, I think I'm still up for the week, and hopefully people who've been tailing the picks are okay this week, because we had a couple big days and a couple of losing days. All right, and today there's a couple of there's a few plays in NHL and NBA that I think I'm liking, and the college football card, of course, some weird games on the college football card tonight, and of course college basketball does start today, and I did not have a chance to look into the college basketball slate of games as in depth as I would need to give official picks. Do be aware though that with the Texas A&M West Virginia game, a bunch of guys are out for Texas A&M. So even though Texas A&M is supposed to be much improved this year, a lot of those guys are out for this game, and they've got a bunch of suspensions. Key players out for the first 5 games of the year. So be aware of that. I am going to, be handicapping the college basketball card as the day goes on, and I will maybe make a special video later on in the day with some picks, or just tweet them out. But as of right now, I'm gonna have nothing but just NBA, NHL, and college football today, and hopefully the tablet will come at a certain point pretty soon, and we will. I'll be able to review some comments, and maybe with the extra time in today's show, address some more longer open-ended questions if anyone has them. So if you have any questions, and I do get the tablet, feel free to post them. As of right now, let's get into the card today. Let's start with NHL, because there's a couple of bets that I made. I think they're good bets. I don't know. Maybe they're shitty bets, but I think they're pretty good bets. All right, here comes a tablet. Oh, no, what is this? Oh, here we go. We got a computer, because, of course, I turned off. Oh, thank you. Here we go. Excellent. Comments. All right, let's get to some comments very quickly. First comment I see is from Vice Versa. Simple comment. Love this show. Vice Versa. Thank you so much. Wanma, clap with me here. Guy made it. Thank you very much. Loves this show. Juanma, you know how hard it is to make an internet show that people actually like, let alone love?
It's really hard,
It's really hard, right?
Really hard.
Right? Any asshole can turn on a webcam and make a show nowadays, and people just love to come out with hate. It is not easy, so I really, really appreciate it. That's what I live for. By the way, the guy behind the camera is a tech guy, Juanma. Tech guys, as you know, is a thankless job. People only notice when there's a fuck up, and they never notice when things are. So Juanma does a great job. Juanma, thank you so much for all the great thankless work you do doing tech for these shows.
And also, you guys are welcome.
Yes, and also Juanma's a pretty funny guy too. Once in a while, comes out with a zinger out of nowhere. All right, so let's get into NHL. I'll get to some comments in a second. Let's get to the Houston Cavs game was an interesting one. Kobe Valentine says, I was correct on the Houston Cavs games. Should have listened. Yes. Not super correct, though. It was close. I had them on the first half -2.5, and, typical NBA style, they're up by double digits after the first quarter. I'm like, I'm a freaking genius. This is going to cash easily. Look what happened. They lost the first half. I did bet them on the second half, though, and I cashed on that one -4.5, and they wound up, winning by 4. So anyone who had the Cavs yesterday definitely, was on the right side in retrospect, but it wasn't a huge obvious play. I mean, Houston did almost win that one, and even the over, which I also bet just barely cashed, and the Lakers-Washington game, which Jim and I were both on with the under, was looking like a slam dunk loser at half, but then the second half wound up going super low scoring, another kind of thing you see all the time in the NBA. So a typical NBA day yesterday. Jim and I had a nice winner with the under, and everyone who had the Cavs cashed. Congratulations, but I'm not sure if looking back on it, that was definitely a huge percentage play there. But congratulations for cashing on that one. And I did have the second half on that one, and I might start tweeting out my second half plays again. I love doing second half plays in NBA and college basketball. Some great value with second half plays in college basketball and NBA. The only thing about that is that you have to pay attention to the games. You can't just make the bets and then go to sleep or watch some porn or watch some TV or take some time off. You do have to give your brain a rest when it comes to sports betting. If you overwhelm your capacity, you will definitely lose no matter what. So you have to be careful with that. So I do make second half bets, but there's great value in second half in basketball in general. All right, so let's get to NHL. A few plays that I bet on the overnight line. The first one I bet definitely was Winnipeg. Now, I did bet Winnipeg. Vegas, of course, started off the year great, coming back from a long road trip, and now they're coming back home, and Winnipeg's just been great, playing great. Hellebuyck in goal is awesome. The only issue here is that Winnipeg has been in Vegas for a bunch of days. Now, many cities in the northern hemisphere, that's a positive, right? In Vegas, maybe not. Teams can lose. I mean, we'll see. Vegas has not obviously had professional sports teams for a while. We'll see if road games in Vegas prove to be a fade spot, just because it is distracting. It can be distracting to be in Vegas, especially if you're there for a few days. So I could easily see Winnipeg having the run of strong play that they've had, having an extended break in Vegas, and then coming into this game a little bit distracted and out of focus. That would not be a surprise at all. But considering the line and considering how Vegas has played and how Winnipeg has played, I did bet that one on the overnight line, and I do like it enough to give it as a play here. Could lose, but I'm going to give it on the old -1. I do like to take these -1 lines, and Winnipeg -1 is going to be an official play. The money line part of that will be -126 at a bunch of places, Pinnacle, BetOnline, and the puck line part of that will be +227, also at a bunch of places, Pinnacle, Heritage, a bunch of places. So a small underdog line there for Winnipeg -1. I hope they are coming here focused, and it would not at all be a surprise if they didn't. Vegas did start the year off, of course, playing great at home, and it's possible that professional teams in Vegas will have a strong home advantage, not because of the fans involved, but because of the impact of the teams that tend to come to visit. Harder to maintain your focus in Vegas as it would be in like a more sleepy city that you're visiting. All right, but I'm going to take Winnipeg there, -1, and I'm also thinking about the over in that game as well, despite the fact that that the Winnipeg goalie is awesome. Wow, and the Winnipeg team total is just 2.5 minus 156. I was thinking about that one as well. I will double up on this one. I will take Winnipeg team total over 2.5 minus 156. Again, that's a little bit risky, but I will take that one. They have been scoring. Again, Vegas, Lagasse for Vegas is a guy who does not inspire a ton of confidence, and I will take Winnipeg team total over 2.5 minus 156. I maybe would be rather getting like 3 at some plus money, but I'll take 2.5 minus 156, which is the line at Pinnacle. I'm going to check some comments in a second. I'm sure people are commenting on that play. Another play that I did bet, and I think I'm liking it, although, I bet it mostly just because of the odds. I did also bet Buffalo -1 against Florida. I had Florida last game against Carolina, and they really had nothing in that game. And Carolina is a team that you should be able to beat and score on if you have your shit together in the NHL. Buffalo, again, also a crappy team, which is why this line is so low. But I definitely bet Buffalo there just because of the low line. I took them on the -1 line, and if Florida comes in here and still doesn't have it, Buffalo should get the win. They're coming off a win that I'm reading is something that has really buoyed the team's spirits overall. Again, Florida got shut down. They're just not playing well at all. Not playing well on the road, and I will take I'll take Buffalo here. I will take Buffalo -1. Hopefully, at least one of those plays will win. Again, I'm going to take a -1. The money line part is -110 at Pinnacle and a few other places, and the puck line part is +256. That's the best line right now. Oh no, +260 at the Greek. +260 at the Greek. That's the best line for the -1.5 line there. So I'll take Buffalo -1 on that one. What? Wait, what? What? Oh, okay. I saw someone, I just glanced over the comments, and Bradley Oliver said, "Just shut the fuck up, please." And I was like, he's talking to me. Why don't you just turn the freaking video up? And then I realized he was talking to someone else. All right, good. All right. Other plays in the NHL that are interesting. Obviously, the Pittsburgh-Washington game is very interesting. I would like to see what people have to say about this one. Obviously, it's interesting from the perspective of the total. I did actually bet the under 6 on the opening line. Now it's not. There's no 6 available, but there are 5.5s at plus money. Both Pittsburgh and Washington have not been scoring at all. When you look at their rosters, you would expect that to change at some point. But my sense is that it's not. It's more likely than not to maintain their scoring problems in this game tonight than to suddenly see the scoring pick up. I did bet it at 6. This is another one of those games. Could easily see this one landing on 6. So with no 6s available right now, just 5.5. So I got burned doing that. But the Tampa Bay game a couple of days ago, I said that I liked the under on that one, but I much preferred 6. There were no 6 available, so I did wind up taking 5.5 at plus money, just like what we're seeing now. And the game landed on 6, and I had to eat a negative unit. So I'm not going to take this one here, but I'm definitely leaning under. And I did bet the under 6 on the overnight line. Won't take the 5.5 here. Another game that is interesting, Ottawa and Colorado, of course, are playing in Sweden, right? They're playing overseas, and both of these teams have been very high scoring. I also bet the over on this one. Kind of a no-brainer play. Modest, money line here for the over 6 -104. That's definitely a lean. I'll have to think about whether I want to actually give that one as an official pick, but I definitely bet that one at 6 -105. And both teams off of super long rest, productive offensively, and I'm guessing that it's not very likely that this game goes under. Might land on 6, but not very likely that it goes under. Of course, I didn't look at the games that didn't have overnight lines. The Islanders-Dallas game is an interesting one that I'm going to pass on, and that's about it. So let's get to some comments. I also am kind of leaning over in the Florida-Buffalo game, even though Florida is having some serious issues scoring, and the Carolina-Columbus game is also very interesting. It appears to be a bounce-back spot for Columbus, but Carolina, they might be a little bit better than what their record has shown recently. They're getting a lot of shots on goal, and I think they might start winning at some point here. So even though it's a big bounce-back spot for Columbus, and Columbus is good, I would not want to take Columbus at the current line. I don't really want to fade Carolina, and actually, my initial thoughts on that game have been justified by the recent line move. Carolina actually has gotten bet to a little bit of a lesser underdog. They're still a pretty decent underdog in the plus 120s, but on the overnight line it was in the plus 130s, and I did not want any part of Columbus at that big of a favorite line. So just 2 plays as of right now. Definitely thinking about 3 plays. The Winnipeg -1 line, Winnipeg team total over just 2.5 -156, and the Buffalo team total over. I'm thinking about throwing on the Ottawa, Colorado over as well, and that's about it. That's about it for NHL. Let's check some comments here. Yeah, Justin Searcy says Columbus got too many injuries. I mean, Columbus has that great goalie, which is part of the reason why I don't want to bet against Carolina. But in general, I'm thinking Carolina might go on a bit of a run where they're winning a little bit more and have some value, especially if they keep getting big underdog lines there. So yeah, let's see. Let me see. All right, I'm looking to some Skooma Steve saying Carolina's played well. Yeah, I think Carolina might be a team to look for some value, at least in the next week or so, next week or two. They might be getting a little bit undervalued on their market lines. Let's see. Delta 75-75 team total can win in overtime. Yes. Delta 75-75. If the Winnipeg game is tied 2-2 and it goes to overtime, and Winnipeg either wins in overtime or even if they win in the shootout, that does count as a third goal, and you do win your team totals. Absolutely. Mikey D says, I look forward to the show every morning. Great analysis, Pete. Thank you so much, Mikey D. And I will quote my NHL record, despite the fact that I'm coming off of a terrible day yesterday where I had to eat, oh my God, holy shit. I had to eat 4 units. Well, no, 3 units. Wait. 1 quarter, 1, 2, 3. I had to eat 3 units of loss yesterday. Terrible day yesterday. I'm still 44-41 with an average line of plus 102 in NHL, plus 4 units on the year up, and plus 4.2% ROI. So that is, that's okay. If I maintain that throughout the whole year, that will be fine. But I'm definitely cutting it a little close, and I'm really hoping that I have a nice small winning day here in NHL. Let's see. Kobe Valentine says Carolina seems like a smart play. Yeah, I definitely think it was a smart play when it was in the plus 130s. Now it's down to the plus 120s. Probably still a bit of a smart play. And I was thinking about the under on that one, and I was also that's another game where I was I like it at 6, at 5.5, at plus money. A little bit dicier, but that's another one where I'm leaning under as well in the Carolina-Columbus game, and definitely liking it at 6. Sean Williams says, appreciate the pre-content, 100 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Sean Williams. Tyler Walker saying, this is awesome. Helps me make my picks a lot easier. Lots of exclamation points in that comment. Thank you so much, Tyler Walker. Mr. Greenshifter says, Winnipeg puck line, thumbs up. Yes. Again, my only concern on that one is that they've been in Vegas for a few days, and I hope that doesn't screw with their focus and concentration, which it easily could. Anyone who's ever been to Vegas, if you've ever been to Vegas, I mean, that's a place that can mess with your concentration. It's a wacky town, even just the way the city smells is just kind of weird. It smells like a one huge casino. So yeah, let's see what else. A lot of people asking about the Leafs. That game I just did not have a chance to look at because there was no overnight line. That is the one game that I did not look at, and I didn't have a chance to take the overnight line on that one. Vice versa, saying Buffalo and the Panthers going under. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Florida clearly having problems scoring, and that might be the case here as well. Jansen Bonzone saying hard to bet on Buffalo, Florida, just 2 bad teams. Yes, and except when you factor in the line, that's why I took a shot with Buffalo here. 2 bad teams for sure, and Florida, definitely looks like something seriously wrong with them and offensively, and we'll see if they can fix it here. I'm willing to bet that it's more likely than not that doesn't happen. All right, looking for some other. Tyler Walker saying love the Winnipeg total over. Yeah. I was leading over as well, and again, I just took the Winnipeg team total over for my official pick here. Let's see. Just looking for some. A lot of people throwing the term bozo around as an insult. I love that term. That is a term that has been in extensive use. I believe initially used by Jesus Cabrera, and now everyone's using it. I love that term. Bozo and dingbat are 2 terms that I really like to use in 2017. And I'll be let's see. Blake Kersey saying, Pete, just watched the UFC Norfolk vid. Agree with most picks. That sounds good. Thank you for that insights, Blake Kersey. Maybe I'll go over that in today's show as well, just a little bit. Let's see. All right, so, yeah, Delta 75 saying Buffalo -1, more better. So he's the vice versa, agreeing with Buffalo. Yeah, again, it's just about the line. Buffalo is a bad team. They are. But it's just the fact that the line is close to pick 'em. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. So that's about it for the comments and that Sweden game. Delta 75 saying best bet is this Jets at Vegas. Yeah. And the Sweden game. I'm liking the Sweden over. Justin Searcy saying I'm taking all three of those, Pete. All right. Justin Banzone saying honorary Canadian citizenship for Loshak. Yes, I would. Oh God, I would love to. I love God. Even the chicks, there was a chick down here visiting from Canada, and I hung out with her for a couple of days. I was like, oh man, this is what my life could be like. I love it. Love Canada. Christopher Muniz saying, cool, thanks for the picks. Loshak, you're a god. Thank you so much, Christopher Muniz. All right, so Brian Black Belichick saying, can we do an underdog pick of the day? You mean in NHL or overall? In general, I think that probably the underdog pick of the day, I'm not going to count a puck line as an underdog pick, even though that is underdog odds. Right now, if I had to take an underdog pick of the day, it would be Carolina at in the plus 120s, maybe Colorado in the Sweden game as an underdog as well. But yeah, all right, so I have 3 picks, NHL, and I'm deciding on this Ottawa-Colorado total, 6 -104, and I will give that one fine. I bet it. It would kind of be a no-ballsy kind of play if I didn't give it, so I will give it. That's going to be a 4th pick. Ottawa, Colorado, over 6, -104. That is the line right now at a bunch of places. BetOnline, SportsBetting.ag, Pinnacle. So I'll make 4 plays. Officially, I have 4 plays going tonight in NHL. Once again, the Winnipeg Winnipeg team total over 2.5 -156, Winnipeg -1, Buffalo -1, and the Ottawa, Colorado over 6 -104, and a bunch of leans. If I could get 6 in the Pittsburgh, Washington game, I'd be giving an under on that one, but that is not available, and that's about it. So let's move on. Let's move on to NBA. All right, NBA. I'm doing very well. Even though yesterday was a horrible day for me overall, still had a winning day in the NBA. Yesterday I went 2-1. Now in my official picks overall here in the NBA, 34-19, plus 13.3 units, plus 23.2% ROI. Now that is not even close to being sustainable, but I'm damn happy that I get to sit here and quote that record. Thank the Lord for that one. All right, in the NBA today, nothing that I'm really seeing that I'm liking a ton. The couple bets that I did make on the overnight line, one is I did bet Portland. Now, Portland, I got burned with that was one of my losers. I took Portland in their last game against Memphis, and that was a loser, although Lillard had a particularly bad shooting day. They had their chances to cover just the 3-point spread, and they didn't. So I'm not totally sure that was a bad bet, but there were some people saying they liked Memphis in that game anyway, so maybe it was. Brooklyn is definitely having issues in terms of personnel, a lot of injuries, and feels like it should be a bounce-back spot for Portland. Portland leaning, laying 8.5 points, kind of a lot here, but I will take Portland, and I think I like them a little bit more on the first half, which is 4.5 or 5. Bookmaker and Heritage have 5. Everyone has 5 -105, and Pinnacle has -4.5, -114, and I will take the Pinnacle line, Portland -4.5, -114 on the first half. They're probably also good as a play on the full game at 8.5. I did bet that one as well. But I'm willing to trust Portland here and willing to fade Brooklyn in this spot. Feels like it's a bounce back spot for Portland, and feels like Brooklyn is vulnerable enough to be fadeable even as that size of an underdog. So hopefully Lillard can come out and have a big game at least in the first half, and we'll get a cash with the Portland first half spread -4.5. -114. Again, the Nets have a bunch of injuries. We'll see if I'm sure a bunch of people are going to comment on that one and give their various opinions. What else is interesting today on today's card? The Milwaukee Spurs game is also a very interesting game, right? The Spurs have been rolling 3 straight wins and covers. Milwaukee's been bad ATS recently. We talked about this in the beginning of the year. I compared Milwaukee kind of to the Louisville Cardinals in college football. Kind of a one-trick pony, right? They have the Greek Freak and the supporting cast not really up to snuff. Same deal that we saw this year with the Louisville Cardinals. Doesn't mean that Milwaukee won't get their points and covers at times. And I was thinking about a shot with the over on this one and also on the Milwaukee team total over. Let me just quickly check to see what these lines are right now. The Milwaukee team total over, 101 plus 108. I kind of like that one. The Spurs, of course, they intend to be a strong defensive team, and a lot of times they are, but their games, since they've been playing well, have been going over, and I think that trend is likely to continue. I did bet the over on this one. I did bet on the overnight line. I got 206, and now it is, still some places 206 down to a 205.5. Most places, again, the question is just, is Milwaukee going to be able to be productive offensively? Wow, the market is really money coming in on Houston. It was 4.5 on the overnight line. Now it's up to 5 or 5.5 at most places. I would still be leaning over, still be leaning Milwaukee on the team total over at 101 plus 108, and also a lean to Detroit. Obviously, Detroit is a well-rested team, and Detroit has been absolutely friggin' killing it ATS this year. Atlanta has a couple of extra rest days, so maybe they'll come in here and be a little bit stale, at least in the first half. Although Detroit's strength comes from their depth, so presumably you'd not necessarily want to look for them to be a better bet on the first halves than they would be on the full games. But Atlanta's coming off of 2 nice games where they shot unusually well for them, and I think that's not likely to continue going forward. They've got some injuries. They're coming off a couple games where the shooting numbers were better than they definitely will be long term this season. So it feels like another good spot to take Detroit, even though they are laying a whole lot of points here. It's 8.5 on the overnight line, and it's still about 8.5, although some places are already up to 9. And the Detroit team total over might be worth a shot, 108.5 minus 108. I was also leaning on the over on this one at about 208. So those are all plays that I'm thinking about. And let me look at what are the other games that I was thinking about on this card. The Orlando-Phoenix game I'm probably going to pass on. Miami-Utah game is definitely interesting. Utah has been struggling. At some point, they're going to turn it around. Is that likely to happen here? Not exactly sure. Miami is a team, of course, getting Whiteside back that I'm kind of high on. So I would love to take Miami. The line is climbing up. It's now up to 3.5 or 4 at places. It opened at 3. Would love to take a shot with Miami, but I'm going to hold off because Utah, could easily turn it around on a dime. And the Miami team total over. Utah's just been having a problem defending teams recently. That's also something that's likely to change. It could easily change, on a dime in this game. But Miami on the team total over 98 is also tempting. So that's what I was thinking about in the NBA card today. A whole bunch of leans that I got. The only one I'm giving officially so far is Portland on the first half, minus 4.5. That's definitely my favorite play out of the card. And let's get to some comments. I'm sure there'll be a lot of comments here that are very well informed when it comes to these NBA betting lines. Again, we are here at sportsbookreview.com. Check the description box underneath this video for links to all of the SBR sites and social media sites. All that very, very, very useful. A ton of useful stuff at SBR. There actually also, one thing that I use that we don't really talk about much is the tools. There's a Kelly calculator, round robin parlay calculator, arbitrage calculator. All these tools you can find. They're a little bit hard to find. You have to go to SBR Picks, I think, and then find tools. Click on the tools tab, and you'll see a whole bunch of useful tools that you might not be aware of. Again, they have all sorts of parlay calculators, a Kelly calculator, which is huge. You can figure out what your edges would be based on various winning percentages and everything. And they have an arbitrage calculator in case you want to do an arbitrage bet there. All right, so let's see. Other comments here. Vice versa says Spurs for the win. Yeah, Spurs is awesome. Spurs is awesome. Let's see. A lot of positive comments. Love it. Thank you so much. Ryan Knight saying, Pete, love me some Clippers. Clippers money line. All right. Again, that did not have an overnight line, so I did not have a chance to look at that. I'm crunching everything here. I'm crunching college basketball, MMA, college football, NFL. So I just don't do the NBA and NHL games that don't have overnight lines for these morning shows. But all right, so let's see. SG Sharika Cruz says, who else got fucked by OKC yesterday? Listen, I talked about it in the show with Jim. I actually wound up betting Denver yesterday. It was, OKC obviously has the manpower to be much better than they are, and at some point they're going to turn it around, probably, right? But that is a team that's not gelling right now. They're looking slow. They're out of sorts, and that is not, going into Denver, playing in that spot. I can understand why some people thought that line looked suspiciously low. I think it was low for a reason. We saw that with Houston earlier on in the year. Things just weren't gelling, and you should assume that things aren't going to be gelling until we see on-court indications that they are. And OKC, if they turn it around on a dime, I'll turn my opinions on them around on a dime. But as of right now, they're definitely a team that I'm looking to fade in general and looking to be overvalued in general. We'll see what their lines are next week. Can't wait to look at them to see what they are. But definitely they're a team that is for real, not for real. They're definitely not for real in a real way right now. They're having issues, and you do see that all over the place in the NBA. NBA. I mean, the Spurs are the perfect example of that. On the other side, the Spurs, no matter who's in their lineup, one way or another, Popovich just seems to get the best out of what he's got, and that's because in the NBA, chemistry is a lot more important than individual star power, and definitely that's the case in the regular season. In the playoffs, that's not so much the case, but in the regular season, that is absolutely the case. Brooke Jordan saying, "I like Brooklyn +9, Pete." Okay. Let me know why. Certainly, Brooklyn. I bet on Brooklyn against Phoenix a few days ago. So certainly, Brooklyn, is a team that I'm not afraid to bet on when they're a big underdog or in spots. It's just that it feels like a bounce back spot for Portland, and Brooklyn has personnel issues and some injuries. So I'm taking Portland here -4.5. But we will see. All right, let's see. Other NBA comments. Let's see. A lot of people wondering if Jimmy is really on vacation or if he's just on vacation. No, he's really on vacation. Unless, he's really on vacation. All right, let's see. Christopher S. says, "Free Jimmy. He's just friggin' on vacation. He's not on vacation." All right, Jesus. All right, let's see. Brooke Jordan says, "Spurs win today." Delta 7575 says Bucks over 206. I bet that one. That's definitely a lean for me as well. The Spurs can clamp down defensively at any time, and the Bucks can disappear offensively at any time as well. But I definitely did take a shot with the over. Let's see. Other questions here. Other questions and comments. Jansen Bonzone says Pistons will cover over Atlanta at home. That's the way I'm leaning, and I did bet that one small myself. Maybe I'll throw that one on there as an official pick. That's definitely a lean, and as I've been saying all NBA season long, my leans have been doing well, and I've been trying to make a concerted effort to give more of my leans as official picks, and I have been doing that, and it's paid off. My official picks have been better at a pretty decent overall sample size because I've been trying to force myself to make more of my leans official picks. Let's see. All right, Andrew G. Saying, "Pete, Temple Owl say we will get to the college football games in a second, but yes, I am agreeing with you on that one, leaning Temple for sure." All right, so let's see, just scanning the comments here, looking for insightful information and opinions on the NBA lines because again, there's interesting handicapping situations here and a lot of leans that I have. Not sure how much I'm liking my leans as much as I was in other days. All right, let's see. Scanning the comments. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, wow. There's definitely some jawing back and forth in the comment section, which is pretty funny. But I'm not going to read it out loud. People threatening people and people pseudo threatening. I fucking love threatening people online. Juanma, do you ever threaten people online?
No, I've been threatened, but
You've been threatened.
Never threat people online.
You've been threatened by me. Did I ever threaten you, Juanma?
No, by you, man.
I love threatening people online. I'm a freaking keyboard warrior. I love that shit. I used to threaten people in the SBR forum all the time when I used to post there regularly. Now I don't have enough time to post there regularly because I'm focusing so much on the handicapping, which has paid dividends. I'm up in every single sport this year. All right, so let's see. All right, so I got to make some final decisions here on these leans. Going over the card again, Portland first half -4.5 is an official pick. Some people saying that they like Brooklyn +9. I can understand why, but I'm going to take Portland here on the first half -4.5. Leans are definitely Detroit -8.5. That's a lean. Milwaukee, San Antonio over 206, and the Milwaukee team total over 101 plus 108. Those are definitely leans there. So that's 3 leans. Miami, Utah. I guess that doesn't even qualify as a lean. Utah's going to clamp down defensively at some point. I'm just liking Miami in general. Now, you know what? It is. A lean's a lean. Miami plus 4 minus 113. I'm not going to make that one a pick because that's a borderline lean, but that definitely counts as a lean. If I'm thinking about it, it's a lean. So, yeah, I guess I got 4 leans here. Detroit, lean. Miami, lean. Spurs, Milwaukee, over, lean. And the Milwaukee team total over, lean. You know what? Maybe I'll just give most of them. All right, you know what? I'll throw on Detroit. I'll throw it on there. Minus 8.5, minus 110 against Atlanta. I think it's a letdown spot for Atlanta, and if they wilt, they might wilt badly. I'm going to throw that one. I'll make that one an official pick. Detroit minus 8.5, minus 110. I did bet that one on the overnight line. That's not a lean that I'm thinking about, but didn't bet. I did bet it, and I will throw that one on there. I'll make that one an official pick. Milwaukee, San Antonio total. See, the problem is that San Antonio can be so strong defensively, and Milwaukee can disappear offensively. That's a lean, but I'll hold off on it for now. I'll hold off on that one for now. All right, so I'm just going to have 2 picks on today's card. Portland, first half, minus 4.5, minus 114, and Detroit, minus 8.5 over Atlanta. Leans are Milwaukee, San Antonio, over 2.5, minus 105, and the Milwaukee team total over 108. And Miami, plus 4, is also a lean for me. And that's about it for the NBA card. Let's just be at a ball saying Hawks stink. They certainly do. They certainly do. And that's why I think it's a good thing to bet against them here, that they had such a strong shooting, couple of games shooting recently. Those are illusory. Arthur Funchess says, I like Boston at the half. Yeah, I did not have a chance to look at that one because there was no that was a game that did not have an overnight line. All right, so let's see. Just reviewing some any last minute comments here on the NBA card, and then we'll move on. Okay. All right. Yeah, Sean Williams saying Magic first quarter, Pete. The Magic on the money line is also a lean, I guess, at just minus 160. Phoenix is obviously a team that is kind of in disarray, and the Magic playing a lot better with that point guard back. So I guess the Magic would count as a lean as well. Phoenix has lost 4 in a row straight up, and ATS. Orlando rolled the Knicks last game, and no coincidence that they got Peyton back. So yeah. I would be leaning Orlando as well, and maybe even the Orlando team total over. Let me find what that one would be. Orlando, 114.5 plus 108. Yeah, feels like Phoenix is back into fade mode, and Orlando getting a boost back from Peyton. So yeah, I'd be leaning Orlando. Maybe not at minus 3.5, but at the money line at minus 150, minus 160 or so. Okay, yeah, Sean Williams, I would definitely agree with that general opinion. Not going to make it an official pick, but I would definitely agree with that one. All right. Okay. Everyone's asking about where Jimmy is. He's on vacation, not on vacation, on vacation. All right, let's move on. Now let's move on to college football. I'm coming off of a super shitty day in college football. Only 0-2, but both of them were lost by a mile. Clearly, they were the wrong sides. I am 4-3. ATS on the week, so I'm still slightly up on the week, and my overall record in college football is okay. 91-79 overall on the year, plus 4.8 units, plus 2.6% ROI. That's my record overall in all my official picks in college football. And again, tomorrow I'll be giving a whole bunch more plays on the Saturday show with Big Man on Campus. College football has some interesting games tonight. The first game that's interesting, of course, is the Temple-Cincinnati game. Temple has a couple extra rest days. They've been covering recently, playing better, getting healthier, a bunch of guys coming back. Cincinnati, kind of a hard team to figure out, right? They do have 2 straight covers. They've been playing a little bit better, but Temple's off a massive win over Navy. Feels like they are they have the mojo and the momentum here. The replacement quarterback for Temple has been doing great. Now, this is a little bit different. It can be tough going into Cincinnati. That can be a tough place to play on the road in a primetime game like this. But the Cincinnati's just not looking too impressive overall in general, and I'm definitely leaning Temple here. They also get back a receiver, Bryant. That's a nice little plus for Temple as well. The big question is just will that quarterback Frank Nutiel, will he be able to continue his impressive results on the road here at Cincinnati? I think more likely than not, yes, but that is definitely not a guarantee. So I am not going to make an official play on this one, but I'm definitely leaning Temple -2.5, and other people in the chat box have given that opinion as well. And a slight lean to the under at 47.5, but that's also definitely not going to be a pick. And I didn't bet that one either, and I'm not going to. But it's just Cincinnati. You know, they've lost a bunch of games in a row, but they have at times shown that they can be more competitive than at other times. You know, and again, these home games, a home dog, Cincinnati, that can be a tough place to play. It's usually a tougher place to play when Cincinnati has a better team. Temple is good, but, you know, not a juggernaut here, although they are improving. So it's a tough one. I'm going to stay off it as far as an official pick is concerned. Definitely leaning Temple -2.5. And then the BYU UNLV game, that is a wacky game. That's a fucked up game. If you're not familiar with why this game is so wacky and weird, obviously BYU's season has been a complete disaster, a lost season, and they just lost their quarterback last game, Tanner Magnum, and that is another huge loss to BYU. Their backup is this guy, Bo Hodge, who is nothing special, and he's also got a bunch of ailments. So he might not start, and if he does start, he might be limited as well. And then they just got a couple of true freshmen after that. Now, BYU. A lot of times when you have these wounded dogs, BYU is not an elite program, but they're still a program that is usually strong in the trenches. Those kind of like wounded animals can sometimes late in the season be good bets as an underdog. We already saw that with North Carolina. I liked North Carolina against Miami last week. Didn't have the balls given as an official pick, but I did like it and I did bet it. And you have sort of the same kind of situation here. I think that BYU is obviously a worse program than North Carolina this year, and North Carolina was getting a whole lot more points than BYU was getting last week. And UNLV is sort of looking up. UNLV. Also, their starting quarterback is a guy who was playing linebacker a few weeks ago. He's done well in his starts so far, but a guy like that, definitely expect inconsistency, and you have to assume that UNLV is going to be running the ball a lot here. The other issue is that BYU, has a pretty decent running game, and UNLV is definitely very vulnerable against the run. So, adding it all up, I would have a slight lean to UNLV. We're actually a modest lean to UNLV, but I'm not going to bet that or play it. And I think my stronger lean would probably be to the under. With all of the offensive issues for both teams at quarterback, I think you're going to see a ton of running. The only thing that could scotch the under is if UNLV's run defense is horrible, which it has been all year, and if BYU starts to really run very productively, offensively, then the game could get into like the low or mid 50s, and BYU probably wins in that case. But if UNLV can stop BYU's running game, then UNLV probably wins and covers, and the game goes under, I think. So I'm thinking about giving the under as an official play here. Let me see where that total is right now. It is 49.5 or 49. The line is actually, the spread has actually gotten bet down. Interestingly, it's now down to a 3.5 or 4. Or 4.5. BYU could be, again, a wounded animal, a dangerous dog here. But, my strongest play of the card, if I had to give one, would be the under 49.5 in BYU UNLV, which could also lose. Let's get to I look up and I see comments that are just ridiculous and funny. I'm not going to read them out loud. But, okay, so a lot of funny shit. A lot of funny shit going on here. Okay. Bobby saying Tulane is money. Who the fuck are you talking about, Bobby? Tulane isn't playing tonight. Are you talking about on Saturday? What are you talking about, Bobby? Tulane is money? Where? When? Come on, Bobby. Pick it up. Be more specific. All right, let's see. A lot of funny shit going on in chat here. Bobby saying Tulane -5.5 cash. I assume he's talking about college basketball. Okay, I will look into that. Again, I did not have time to look into the college basketball card. All right. Rob Perdue says UNLV win 28-14, boring game, but they get the cover. That is how I'm expecting it to go. I'm expecting the under to be a decent play, and I'm expecting a Tulane to probably cover, UNLV to probably cover at -3.5. Las Vegas likes UNLV. Yes. Sean Williams saying Temple is definitely not the same team from the start because they were terrible. Now they're getting covers, and now they're getting healthier. Yes, there's a reason they started to get covers. They had terrible offensive line play to start the season, and they sort of realized that they had to, buckle up and improve their offensive line play, and they did. And at the same time that happened, they started to get healthier. So, I'm definitely leaning Temple for sure. All right, Jansen Bonzone saying UNLV is the pick. Everyone's liking UNLV, and I would agree with that. And I would definitely be leaning under. Let's see. Big E saying, "Take it, Pete. Take it. Take what? What's he talking about? Which game is he saying I should take? I should take Delta 75 saying I got Temple -3, -105. Yeah, Temple might be the play there. I'm definitely leaning Temple for sure. And all right, that's about it. I think we can wrap up Tyler Walker saying Temple a good play since he has nothing to play for except for quote unquote pride, which does matter at times to various teams, especially when they're home in a primetime game like this, right? They're just ready for the season to end. Temple trying to make a statement. They're getting people back and wanting that bowl bid. All of that is absolutely true. Tyler Walker, that is true. That is true. It's just that, Cincinnati can be a little bit tricky. Cincinnati is again, these like wounded animal home dogs at the end of the season. Cincinnati has nothing to play for except for pride, which can matter more on the at home, which is also why I'm not necessarily liking BYU in that capacity against UNLV because it's a road game. Their season's over. If there's a spot where BYU is going to try to bring it more, it will be next week in their home game. So we'll look for what the line is for that game. But and then the Stanford game is totally a pass for me. That game, the total crashed on that one, and I'm not exactly sure why the total would crash that much if there's an injury that I'm not aware of. And now it's back up. I saw 44.5 last night. Now it's back up to 46.5 or 47. That's a game that I have to really look into. I have no opinion on that game as of right now, and I'm probably going to pass on it unless I get a little bit of extra time, and I'm going to be monitoring line moves in that one. I think this is a game where I think that late line moves will be very telling. As of right now, I'm totally off of it. Washington is obviously the better team on paper and probably on the field, but again, big road favorite here in a primetime game. The game overall makes me nervous, and this is a game where I'm going to be looking at line movement, and if there's something that indicates based on the line movement and the market lines that one side or one play here is the right side, then maybe I'll bet it. But as of right now, it's a total pass for me. And as far as the UNLV game, you know what? Fine. I'll give the under. I'll give it 49.5 minus 110 at Intertops and Heritage. Intertops and Heritage both have 49.5 minus 110. I'll throw that one on there. There's going to be a lot of running. I don't think there's going to be a lot of dynamic offense played here. And, I want to give UNLV at minus 3.5, but that's going to be just a lean. Want to give Temple minus 2.5, but that's just a lean as well. And that's about it. That's about it. So I will give one play officially in college football. BYU, UNLV under 49.5 minus 110. And then MMA. I am having a great year in MMA. I'll review my my MMA record overall right now. In MMA only, 28-14, plus 16 units on the year, and a big ROI there as well. Including boxing, 30-17, plus 13.5 units. I have a couple of negative units from boxing. But overall, in general, doing well in MMA, and I did take Albini as a big favorite over Arlovsky. Minus 330 is what I got, and that can be very tricky again in MMA, as we've seen. Taking those big favorites can be treacherous, can be tricky, but Arlovsky seems like he's absolutely cooked, and I did make that one official pick at minus 330. And the Sunsao fight, I think, is going to go the distance. I bet that one at minus 215. The Matt Brown fight might go the distance. I bet that one over or to go the distance at plus 160. Matt Brown is a guy who he announced that it's going to be his last fight of his career, so the total is low because obviously in his career he's had a lot of finishes, but this is going to be his last fight. I think he doesn't want to get knocked out. and probably won't, push the pace to knock the other guy out either. And so I took the fight going distance at plus 160, the Sun South fight to go the distance at minus 215, and also the Clay Guida Joe Lozon fight to go the distance at minus 165. So I got a bunch of plays in MMA, and I'm assuming that one of them will lose, and if that happens, that'll be fine. I'll still be up for the day. If two of them lose, it'll be a small loser, but I'll be okay with it. Possible all of them could win, and then that'll be great. So check the video with Andreas Hale, and you can get all of our breakdowns, all of our more in-depth breakdowns of each fight in that video, and that's about it. I think we can wrap things up. Thanks, guys, for the comments. Jimmy the Bag will be back from his vacation on Monday, and hopefully we will, have a winning week next week, and everything will be better. This week, very up and down for both me and Jimmy the Bag, but I will be up if I have a winning day today. And all my picks are a little shaky, but overall, I think it's a solid bunch of picks. Hopefully, they'll be positive. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll catch you on Monday with the next Jimmy the Bag show, and tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the college football preview with Big Man on Campus.